Welcome back to part 2 of this week's episode of Leading Our Own Way, featuring our special guests. Now let's dive right back into the conversation and continue exploring their incredible journey. Yeah, it's textbook, isn't it? You know, people who are thriving, doing well, want to do well, and they don't have it within themselves to do the same. They have to bring other people down, don't they? It's a very typical trait of bullies, and I think you nailed it on the head when you said you're bringing out their insecurities within themselves, because you're bringing what you just said, the light on the shadow. You're bringing positivity to the workplace, and I used to hear people say, I don't come to work to make friends, and I'd agree with them in the moment, but deep down, even then, even 20 years ago, I would be like, but why? Why can't we be friends at work? It's not that we have to have dinner every night, but why don't we want to come to work and actually connect with the people we're supposed to connect with? It's bizarre, isn't it? It's crazy. You mentioned we had a pre-chat back in December. You mentioned that you kind of fell into coaching. You came across it accidentally. Is that right?
Yeah, it was accidentally. I was into psychology for a long time. I really like psychology. And I believe that I have natural talent. I feel intuitively what persons struggle with, and I'm an empathetic. I feel people on a deeper level. So I guess I have natural talent for that. But the fact that I'm very empathetic doesn't allow me to dig deeper in psychology, because it is a lot of drama, traumas, and I'm not sure that I'm capable to bear that. So I was a little bit frustrated, and then I accidentally came across coaching week, like International Coaching Federation conducts coaching week every year. So I accidentally registered and took part, and I was so passionate about that, because it's not like psychology, it's like more light, and it's positive, because you're focusing on the future, how you can change yourself now, or your perspective to create a better future for yourself. So it's not digging into the past and traumas, but it's focusing on future and more positive stuff. So, and I didn't have money to take a course, so I let go of this idea, and my surrounding wasn't supportive, and I let go. And yeah, after I got an email that you took part in that week, let's took part in that again. So I again registered, and I decided it's now or never. So I took a credit. It was hard and challenging to pay it. I paid it in December. It was a final payment. But I actually started a certification, and I successfully completed it and practicing coaching. Though it's not very easy, it's rough to get clients, but I am driven by this idea to change this world for better, to help people, to activate healing in them, to show them how mindset shift can change your life, how the way you look at things can change your life, how loving yourself can change your life. And actually I'm devoted to that. Even if like I don't have a lot of paid clients, I still take people for free, people who telling me I don't have money right now, or I'm not like quite sure. I welcome them to take a leap of faith and try it out, because it is working. Coaching is really magical as for me.
Yeah, well, I can put it out there if you don't mind, but I'm going to join you and be a client of yours, and so I can help you be a good coach. I'm happy. I'm excited about that. By the way, I will. I've got the form open. I've not pressed a date and time. I've got to try and figure that out. But we'll look into that for sure. So with that then, what would you say? So what's your big dream then? I felt like I heard a few dreams in your sentences there. If you could put it all into one big dream, what would it be?
One big dream, like all my dreams, as you mentioned, they are united by one key desire, and Maybe it will sound crazy or too idealistic, but I would really want to create heaven on earth.
I like that. I've never heard anything like that before. That's awesome. Yeah, people don't usually say it like that, and that's awesome. That's a nice perspective, and I think there's your pitch, isn't it? If you ever do a speech, that's you ever do like a TED talk or as public speaking, that's your sentence you've got to include. I like that. I might write that one down actually for a guest gem. Uh, I like that. Heaven. Okay. So where did this? Let's go back then. Where did this desire? Where did all of this ideas and desires and dreams and purpose come from? Why do this?
I believe it comes right from God, from spiritual realm, because I feel connected, and actually God is my savior. He saved me. He gave me a second chance to live this life. And a lot of people actually, oh, sorry, I'm too emotional.
That's okay. You take your time.
Yeah, yeah, and like a lot of people who actually struggled or who were, at one step from death or from that have been through traumatic experience, and like a miracle happened in their life, like God saved them, because when we speak about like scientific side or like general laws of of life, it seems impossible, but actually God created miracle in my life, and I'm so happy and grateful for that. And though I still faced with a lot of hatred, bullies, like people are triggered by me, like I don't have that community, supportive community. It's just me and God, and like my family loves me, but like they don't get me. Yes, and strongly believe that I had a lot of time, a lot of opportunities to become bad, to choose the bad side, dark side, to be hard on people, to be like evil. But every time I choose light and I choose God, because I know that there is something more than us, and in order to build that heaven on earth, I should. Look at people with compassion, with love, with understanding, and instead of giving the same energy back, I should exude love, light, and this calmness, because you can't make you can't make an evil person good by sending them the same energy back. You can have this shift when you will, instead of doing the same, you will give love and you will wish people healing, instead of doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned in at the beginning of your talk there that your family don't really understand you. Has it always been like that? Even growing up as a child in Ukraine, was it the same back then?
When I was a child, I was extremely reserved. I couldn't talk. Like I didn't have problems with my throat, or like no, I didn't have any physical issues. I simply had this like maybe mental issue, because there was a block in my throat, in my head, and I felt the whole universe inside. I was very creative child. I was very sensitive, fragile child, but I couldn't stand for myself. I was an underdog at school and I was bullied, but I couldn't say my parents that I was bullied because I couldn't open my mouth. It was a real struggle for me to go to buy bread at the shop. Like I forced myself, and it was really hard. And I remember this moment from my childhood. I was at first grade. I started school at 5, though we started at 6, but I started at 5, and it was my first dancing lesson. And teacher bullied me. Like it was first lesson. I didn't know how to dance. It was her responsibility to show me, to teach me, but she made like this audition and she rejected me and bullied me and put me down a lot for me not doing those movements right. And I really rekindled this passion for dancing, and I'm really happy because I really have talent. Like, I'm not proficient, but I really like dancing. And the fact that in my childhood, my music teacher, I adore music, my dance teacher, first dance teacher, they made me feel miserable and put me down. That influenced my perception of myself. And I tried to start dancing lessons several times, but I failed because I was like fearful. I remember that experience, how I felt when they put me down, this 5-year-old innocent child.
Yeah, so before your first dance lesson, before you got bullied about that teacher, were you quiet and reserved even before then, or was that the changing point for you?
I was quiet and reserved all my school years. Like all,
But even before you started school,
yeah.
were you the same? Were you saying? Were you the? Could you? Did you struggle to speak even before?
Yes,
So
like I start speaking like all children, like mother, father, but I had this block. I couldn't openly share my opinion. I couldn't ask for something. I couldn't like initiate a conversation, and I couldn't stand up for myself. I was very sensitive child, very reserved child, and I felt everything very deeply, but I couldn't express that.
so in the primitive years of 3, 4, and 5, before you hit that dance lesson, where do you think it came from? Where do you think those blockages came from? Because a child isn't just usually blocked at that age, are they? Do you have any? You might not even know, but do you have any idea of why you were like that?
At my 1, 2 years, 3 years, I was very smiley child, very active child. But then something has changed, and I have no idea what was that. I guess the moment when I started to analyze, I think the moment when my brain started to work, I'm a big overthinker, and I was a big overthinker. And I guess maybe before my mind, my like conscious was formed, I was open, I was smiley. But when my brain started to form, when my thought process started to form and was activated, I guess it was that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like that's the pivotal point, is it? That if you had any work done yourself, I don't know if you have since regarding that childhood moment, but maybe that's where we'd need to dig deep into, like even like hypnotherapy, getting, because you can't consciously think about it. Sometimes I did a live recording with a hypnotherapist not long ago on the podcast, and he's now become a good friend. He's actually here in Melbourne, and we were able to figure out things that I didn't even know through his questioning, and it was fascinating. I don't know. Maybe that's something to look at in the future. I don't know. With school then in Ukraine, you mentioned you were bullied in school as well. Um, what was life like at home? Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.